Hello and welcome to Birth Mindset Matters Day 2, where everything you thought you believed about birth and life is about to be shifted. So, let me know how you got on with the birth visualization as well as the homework tasks from yesterday. I really hope that it helped. I really hope that something landed, that you created some awareness as to what exactly was coming up for you surrounding your birth. This is really deep level work. And one thing I always encourage my clients to do is, even though they've done journaling on one day, I always encourage them to go back again the next day and the next day and the next day to keep checking in, to keep seeing if anything comes up. Mindset work, the deeper level work, is always something that you're going to be doing on a deeper level. And it's something that you just don't do just once. You've got to continuously keep doing it. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight with my own journey, with the birth of my daughter Luna, the pregnancy journey, moving through pregnancy, I was literally checking in with myself and doing mindset work every single day. Every day I was sat at my kitchen table, either journaling or focusing on gratitude or reading up about birth, physiological birth, or working on my own belief system. Like, there was so much work put into the leading up to the birth experience. So I want you to know that this stuff really does work, but it's not something that you can just half-ass attempt. It's got to be something that you are consistent with. Just like meditation, a lot of people say, oh, I don't know, I don't like meditation, I'm not really good at meditation. Why? Because that belief that you have is that meditation is probably something that takes a really long time. It's something where you've got to be really still, where you can't have your thoughts traveling in and out of your mind, etc., etc. And whilst some of it may be true, the length time of it isn't. You can be meditating for 3 to 5 minutes a day. It's not about the length of time, it's about the consistency. I'm able to fall into a meditative state now within a couple of minutes of just breathing, and I find myself getting in the zone. My noise, the noises, the voices, the thoughts, everything quietens down. That's the whole idea of meditation. It's quietening down your mind, your thoughts, because thoughts will come and go. But if you're in that state and you're hearing the thoughts and the thoughts are coming in, and you're choosing to make something about that thought that comes in, that's when sometimes we can hit a bit of a rocky road. So this is why meditation can be really good. So I want to talk a little bit about embodiment today. A lot of people think that there's a whole way of believing that when they have that dream birth, or when they have that amazing birth outcome, they'll be able to do all of these beautiful things with their baby, and travel and go on picnics and meet friends and all of that, and then they can be this woman birthing person that has had the most incredible birth, that has had the most amazing start to their journey of parenting. The thing is we've got this all the wrong way around. By embodiment, we need to be the person to then have what it is that we're looking to call in. In this case, for you, it's the birth. You're looking to call in that vision that you saw yesterday, the dream birth that you visualized yesterday. You're wanting to call that in. The way to call that in is by becoming the person that has already achieved that birth outcome. It's not about the hoping, it's not about the wishing for the best, it's about being, embodying that person. So we need to be the person, even though we haven't achieved the result. But when you're able to be the person and step into the version of the person that has already achieved that birth on your terms, you will then come from a place of doing the things that that person did to prepare, to then have the birth outcome that you want. Okay. And I know for some of you, this is going to confuse the heck out of you because you're going to think, what the hell is she going on about? How can I be the person that's already achieved that birth? How is it even possible? It is. It is 100% possible. What I need you to do is tap into that vision from yesterday. If you haven't done it yet, I recommend going back to the day one video. I recommend tapping into the vision of the person that has already achieved that birth on their terms, tapping into the vision and seeing what they were like, who they were like, what they were being like, what they were saying, how they were, and then falling in from that place. You can literally be whoever it is that you want to be. Remember as a child, when you were a child and your parents maybe and your teachers used to say to you, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be. The sky isn't even the limit. But then all of a sudden, some restrictions got put on top of us. We were restricted from being the person that we wanted to be because it wasn't safe. Because, oh no, gosh, you can't be you can't be that. You can be anything but that. No, you can't be that. What happened? Our vision shrunk. It became smaller and smaller and smaller to a vision that is be realistic. Be realistic. Do the safe thing. Be realistic. Whereas when it comes to this, I want you guys playing in the possibility that anything is possible. Because I've truly seen things happen, shifts happen in people achieving births that I even wonder, how on earth did that happen? Like, really and seriously, I want you guys playing with this possibility. Because when you're able to do this work, when you're able to play with that possibility, things change, things shift. It's mind-blowing to see, and it's powerful to see. So it's all about the being. Be that person first. Then do from a place that they would do. Not from a place of scarcity, not from a place of, okay, I'm going to do this because this person said I've got to do this. No, the doing comes from a place of inspired action. Inspired action is a nudge to do something. I don't know if you've ever had that nudge within that's told you, oh, maybe I should do that. But then maybe you've had something else come on the outside. Oh, no, don't do that. That's too dangerous. But some part within you has always felt that nudge to go. It can either go in two directions. If the nudge was bigger than you more than likely went towards the nudge. But if that voice holding you back was telling you don't do it, stay here because here is safer, the likelihood is that you didn't do that inspired thing that you were meant to do. Let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. Because I can tell you now, if you have not taken inspired action, you have been holding yourself back up until now. And from this point on out, I want you to feel any nudge that is coming in. I want you to take the action on that nudge. Even if it scares you. Because sometimes the fear is the fear of the unknown because we don't know what's on the other side. But when you actually put your hands on your heart and just say to yourself, I'm safe. I'm safe. And you just breathe and you just keep saying the words, I am safe. And you do this for a few minutes. You will find those feelings of anxiety, of fear starting to tone down. Because whatever is on the other side of that inspired action is not actually that scary. We have the perception that it is scary because we don't know what is on the other side. But when you're able to take that inspired action that feels aligned to you, that you're feeling nudged towards, that's where these big things then tend to happen and change and shift. That's you embodying, being the person that's already achieved the birth on their terms. And when the universe sees you doing and being the things, then there is no choice but for it to show up. And that's how this usually works, even in birth. Another thing I wanted to say is it's about being okay with the uncertainty, yet feeling all the certainty in the world. Yes, birth will be an uncertain thing. We get you to visualize. Sometimes the journey might not be linear, getting to that end result. Sometimes there may be different twists and turns that it takes. That's why I get you visualizing on the end result, never on the how. The how is not your concern. How you get to that end result is not your concern. But what a lot of people tend to do is say how unpredictable birth is. I choose to look at it from a different way. What if birth is meant to unfold in the way that it's meant to unfold? What if birth isn't actually that unpredictable after all? What if birth was just meant to unfold in that way? If you can start changing that idea that birth is unpredictable and changing it with the idea of birth will unfold the way that it needs to, my focus is on my end result, which is achieving a healthy birth for myself and my baby, be it whatever it might be for you. Wouldn't that feel different? There is uncertainty, but you can come from a place of certainty, knowing that the vision that you hold is what is going to be happening and coming through. If you can believe that vision with every single cell, every fiber in your being, and not doubt for 1 second that that vision is what is going to manifest itself in your birth, it will have no other option but to show up. But this is the issue. People will visualize, and then afterwards they'll start, oh my God, but what if this happens? Ooh. Oh my God, but what if that happens? Oh my goodness, but what if this happens? What if this is the awful outcome? What if, what if, what if? And it's all of these what ifs, what ifs, what ifs that come into place. And this is the huge thing. The what if is not, there is no place for the what if. There is absolutely no place whatsoever for the what if. We need to be in a place where we feel certain that that is going to be our outcome. If you're not in that place just yet, I can totally get you to that place. We need to get you to a place where you feel that you can really achieve that birth on your terms. That's the place that we need to get you to, is being certain that that is going to be your outcome, even though you don't have any certainty at all. But within, you're certain. I know I can get you there, and I know that that is the place that a lot of my clients are getting to. It's trusting, it's surrendering, it's believing that everything that they've done leading up to this birth has been enough. And now they can lean in and they can surrender to it. What will get in the way of that vision, of you achieving that dream birth? The only thing that will get in the way, the main thing that will get in the way, will be your fears and any other trauma that you're holding on from previous birth experiences or from your childhood. Those will literally be the things that will stop you. Other than that, you can totally get there. It just requires a little bit of work, deeper level work, but it is doable. So embody that version of the person that's already achieved birth on their terms. Do all of the things that they would be doing so that you can then have and achieve the birth that you desire. So I'm going to move on to the next step, which is the hierarchy of change. Now, this is an NLP tool, neuro-linguistic programming tool, that was created. I can't remember who the guy's name is, which I should have actually put it in the slideshow, but I'll tag it in the comments. Anyways, he came up with this hierarchy of change, and usually what tends to happen is we always believe that by creating change, lasting change, that it all starts with our environment. and then our behavior. I'm going to give you an example that's not birth related, and I can give you one that's birth related afterwards also. But essentially, what usually happens on the 1st of January, when the 1st of January hits, everyone, oh my God, I need to go to the gym. I'm going to look at gyms. I'm going to buy a gym membership. I'm going to empty out my fridge because all the food in there is a whole lot of junk. I'm going to fill it up with really healthy food. I'm going to buy myself a gym kit and I'm joining the gym and I'm going to lose weight. That's it. It's done. What tends to happen about a week or two later? Oh my God, I'm craving that chocolate. I want that chocolate. I want that bag of crisps. I don't want to go to the gym today. I don't want to go to the gym today. What tends to happen is you fall off. Why? Because willpower is only on a conscious level. That's the big thing. When you are changing your behaviors and your environment, you're only changing things that are external. You're not changing from deeper within. We believe that changing our outside world and our actions is the key to change. And it's not that, because behaviors and environment is at a conscious level, just like willpower is at a conscious level. True change happens when we start from the top, spirit level, our invisible assistant, you can call it that, the highest purpose. And this is why I get you in the journal prompts today, focusing on your why it is that you want the birth that you want. Because your why will be the thing that will get you there. When you can tap into yourself, when you can tap into your inner self and really understand what it is that you want to achieve, why it is that you want to achieve it, you're navigating it from a different way. You're navigating it from a completely different way. My reasons for wanting my vaginal birth after 2 cesareans was because I wanted to experience the rite of passage for my baby and for myself. I wanted to experience it. I wanted to know what it felt like. I wanted to be in that moment of transition, of moving from one, identity to another. Because I honestly believe that when you birth your baby in that way and in your power, you become a completely different person. You change. Something within you shifts and changes when you're able to have that transcendent birth. And then my other big why was to help women and birthing people see that actually a vaginal birth is actually a possibility. It's a possibility. Things within the birth world are changing from my story, as well as many others that are coming along now and having their successful vaginal births after cesareans. It's powerful to see. And that's huge. So that for me was my big why. Then it was the identity. I chose the identity that I was going to embody. Throughout the time that I was pregnant, I embodied the version of myself that had already achieved her vaginal birth after cesarean. I did all the mindset work. I worked on my biomechanics also. I really embodied that version. When I was speaking on social media, it was like I had already had my baby. The way I was talking about it, people knew that I was planning that. People knew that I was going to have that. I was very open about it. I was embodying that identity already. And then came the beliefs and the values. So working on our beliefs and what's obviously the values, which is what's important to us. But the beliefs is something that could potentially hinder you from achieving that next level birth. Because if you're believing that you're not good enough, I'm not worthy of having this birth, it's not possible for me. Why would it be possible for me? I don't think I can do this. Oh, this is really hard. I'm just going to give up. If you have certain beliefs about yourself, about your previous birth experience, about your childhood, those beliefs are the things that will definitely hold you back. And this is why this deeper level work is so important. Then it's learning about the capabilities, so the skills and the knowledge. Having the skills and the knowledge following people, doing some courses about, physiological birth, whatever type of birth it is that you're looking to call in. Maybe gaining the additional support, maybe having a doula or a birth keeper present at your birth to help you with those skills and the knowledge and to be able to support you. And then your behavior, the actions that you take, and then your environment results is what we see in our reality. So if you're able to start leading from a place of the hierarchy of change that's here, trickling from the up, going all the way down, things will shift and things will change for you. But it's got to start from within. It's not from the external. It never has been about the external. If women and people are experiencing births that are moving in different directions that aren't maybe the healthiest or the best experience that they could, that they could have wanted, that maybe there's a lot of induction going on, or births ending in cesarean births, or births following different routes that, maybe you didn't want that in the first place, but it ended up happening for you. It's looking at internally what exactly was coming up for you at that time. What happened? What beliefs did you have? Did you let fear override? And I can tell you now, 99 point, I don't even know, 99 point, I almost say 99.9%, those decisions were all fear-based. The births that took a different turn, the births that deviated from the vision, it will be fear that got in the way. And the fear comes from beliefs that you hold, stories that you've heard, everything surrounding you that could potentially have a massive impact on you. When you're able to shut that noise out, when you're able to change those beliefs, change the way that you feel about birth, start really embodying that version of yourself that is powerful, that will lead the way, that will be guided, everything changes. Everything will change. One thing that I want you to start doing is I want you to begin standing guard of the door of your mind. Your mind is so powerful. You probably don't even realize how powerful your mind is, but I've been noticing patterns that have been happening with people, with clients of mine, and with other people that follow me on social media, that come to me and ask questions, sometimes in my DMs, and patterns have been showing up for me. And it's something that's huge that I feel called to share in this masterclass. And I want you guys to be really, really aware of this. So any sort of stories that you guys hear from other people, or any sort of beliefs from other people that you have put on top of you, I want you guys to start bringing them to your awareness. When someone is sharing a story with you, after they've shared the story, if you're willing to listen, again, you have the right to say, I don't want to hear any stories, whether they're negative or positive, I don't want to hear it. Because what is deemed as positive to one person might not actually be deemed as positive to you. You might not believe that it is positive, but to them it will be positive. But to you, your version of positive might be very different to their version of positive. But if you do choose to listen, I want you to repeat these words to yourself. That is not my story. Okay? That is not my story. You're going to repeat that to yourself a few times, and then you're going to affirm it's done. So I need you to do this, because I've noticed patterns when people are sharing stories. If someone is incredibly sensitive and takes that story on, that story will unfold as their birth. And as crazy as this sounds, it has happened. It happened with myself. This is why I say it's something really important that you say, this is not my story. I'm going to share very briefly what happened with me, but essentially a few weeks before I went into labor with Luna, I'd been listening in on Clubhouse. There is a physiological birth room that happens on Clubhouse every Tuesday evenings. I'm a part of the panel now, and it happens at 8 o'clock. And in that talk, there was a midwife that was explaining, James the midwife. If you guys don't follow him on social media, I definitely recommend you do. But he was sharing a story about one of his expectant parents that he was caring for, and she was a VBAC. And I remember him saying, she had been in the birth center and that she labored for a really long time. And then she was really tired. And then she was transferred from the birth center to the labor ward. And then when she was in the labor ward, she had an epidural and she rested. And then afterwards, she had her vaginal birth. So everything went well. She ended up having the vaginal birth after cesarean. And after that story, I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so glad she ended up getting her vaginal birth. Like I was literally at the edge of my seat just thinking, oh my God, hopefully she's gone into the labor ward. I'm hoping she gets it. Like hopefully she gets it. And this is right at the beginning of my journey of mindset work and stuff. Because if I had to share like the stories that I've heard so far and the puzzles that I've pieced together, we'd be here literally all night. So, anyways, that happened. And then my birth came. And then after I had Luna, yes, everything was good. And I started reflecting back. And that conversation came up in my head. And I thought, okay, this is really weird. So I started out in the birth center. I felt really tired because I'd been laboring for quite a while also. I then decided to be transferred up to the labor ward. I then decided to have an epidural. And then I had my successful vaginal birth after 2 cesareans. Huh, that's interesting. It's the same. It's the same story. I took on that person's story and made it my own. And afterwards, when I spoke with one of my colleagues who used to be a midwife, she no longer is part of the system. She works as a birth keeper now. And I shared this with her. She was like, oh my word, wow, the mind is that powerful. That's just one story. Literally, if I could share a ton of other stories that have happened, people that have been diagnosed with a certain condition, when I then went to ask them, had they been in touch or spoken about that condition with someone else? And their response was, yeah, someone else that they knew had had that very condition 6 weeks before, had had her baby 6 weeks ago. And yeah, they'd been speaking every day about that condition. Like things like this that are happening, that I'm piecing the puzzles now. And that's why I say, stand guard at the door of your mind. Your mind is that powerful. Your mind will take on something, and all it takes is one little thought, one little story for a seed to be planted, and that's it. Everything can change. And this is why doing the deeper level work is so incredibly important. Another thing I want you to notice is what you are consuming on a daily basis. What are you watching on TV? What are you listening to? Also, what are your daily habits? Like one of the big habits that I always get my clients to be mindful of is their phone, because I know there will be a lot of people that will, you know, wake up first thing in the morning and reach for their phone straight away, open it up, start scrolling, looking at all these things. One thing I want you to be aware of is for the first 30 to 60 minutes in the morning, you are still in your subconscious mind. We're going to go more into subconscious mind, subconscious and conscious mind tomorrow, but you are in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the part of your brain that stores all of your beliefs, all of your, everything that you think about. It's like your library. It's like a little library that you've got, and it just stores everything in there. Being on the phone, scrolling through your phone and seeing whatever is on your phone at that point in time, if it's a horrible story that comes up or something that comes up that you maybe didn't want to see, but you saw, that's going to be absorbed by your subconscious mind. So this is why I say, check in on your daily habits. If you have a phone and if your phone is there, and if you are feeling inclined to go towards your phone, stick a post-it note on your phone. Don't look at me. Just like highlighted, don't look at me. Wait for 60 minutes and then come back. It takes a while for us to lose a habit, a bad habit. But if we're able to replace that bad habit with something else, it makes it a bit easier. But it takes time to be able to create new habits. Okay. So, homework. I would love for you to journal on what the identity of the person is that has already achieved birth on their terms. So, again, check in with your vision from yesterday. If you can do the visualization again from yesterday, and really just spend some time just writing. What is she like? How does she speak? How, what is her confidence level? Is she the type of person that just says and speaks her truth? What does her hair look like? What does she look like? How is she being? What is she wearing? Like, really go all out with that, okay? So that you can really come to an understanding of what the identity is of the person that's already achieved birth on their terms. Does she step into her power? Who is she being? Number two, spend some time free writing on why you would like to achieve the birth that you visualized. I really want you to understand your why. When you can really understand your why, once you've done the free writing exercise, you're going to bring it into a shorter little, maybe like a sentence or two, and you're going to write it on a post-it note. And then I want that why posted up somewhere in your house. So either on your wall, in your bathroom, somewhere that you will see it every single day. Use it as a screensaver for your phone or for your laptop, whatever it might be. It's really important that you look at it every day because that's what's going to be your driving force. I want you also to make a list of all of your daily habits. This includes what you're watching, who you're talking to, where you're going. Okay. Once you've done that list, you're then going to spend some time highlighting the bad habits and you're going to replace it with something else. When you catch yourself about to go into one of those bad habits, tell yourself out loud that you are going to do a new task instead. Okay. So when, let's say you get up from your bed and you're about to go to your phone, you go, no, I'm not going to look at my phone now. I am going to choose to go into the bathroom and brush my teeth instead. And you do that. When you're able to do this and affirm this, it's almost like you're telling your subconscious mind that you're serious about committing to changing that habit. And when you're doing it for a period of time, it literally changes. It starts changing things. It starts changing the way that you are being. And then number 5, I want you to spend some time writing a letter to your future self. So you're going to date this letter, writing a letter from your future self. You're going to date this letter a week or 2 after your estimated due date, okay? If you're not yet pregnant, I would date it maybe a year from today, okay? I want you to spend some time writing a letter as if you are the future version of yourself that has already given birth or that is already currently pregnant, whatever it might be. And then you're going to write yourself a letter from that future self space. And you're going to say how your birth went, how you were amazing. Whatever it is that comes up, do it in that letter, write it in that letter. Spend time doing it. Just really write it from a place of heart, not from a place of fear, from a place of heart. So my suggestion would be, even if you're able to do the visualization, and then as soon as you've done the visualization, write the letter, okay? Because you'll be charged with all of those feel-good feelings. Once you've written the letter, you're then going to put the letter away in a place that you're not going to be tempted to open it. You're going to date it, and then you're going to set yourself a reminder with the date that you've put that letter, to open that letter. And then when that date comes, you're going to open the letter. And I promise you now that you will be very mind blown by what's written in the letter. I've done this task with a few of my clients, and the feedback's been insane. I got a message from one of my clients. I think it was one of the first people that I told to do that. And she messaged me after her birth saying, "Oh my God, Carmen, everything that was written in the letter happened in my birth. I was like, no way. She's like, oh, yeah, it did. It all happened. It all came to fruition. And I was like, okay, right. I'm going to start using this more often because this is really, really powerful. We use it in our business, we use it in everyday life, manifesting things that we want. Why wouldn't we use it in birth? Why wouldn't we? What is so different about birth versus something else that you're trying to manifest in the physical 3D world? Birth is a rite of passage. Births can be manifested too. Pregnancies can be manifested too. You've got to just be in that right place to be able to allow it to happen, to surrender to it happening. And it's a powerful place to be in. So thank you so much for those that did join in today. This has been absolutely amazing. I will be back again tomorrow for the third and final day. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you back here then. I'm just going to stop the share.